Just show you around all of the work that I've kind of had to do on this brand new trailer since getting it I took delivery in March and it's now October, and just all the little things that have happened as it's been getting pounded down the road. And some of these things have just they've been around for a while, so, and just some of the fixes that I've had to do. So I'll go ahead and take you around. Okay, let's start off here in the front of the trailer. So this bottom piece here, these screws are screws that I put in here. Some of them are actually already coming out again, but this has just been an ongoing thing. The screws that they use were just even more horrific than this. This one's already beginning to bust through, probably because this one came out. But I gotta find some longer screws like that or something, or possibly even just put another like piece of metal or something along this edge and drill some holes and just screw into that so that it holds that back. But that came on the first trip, bringing it into storage. Let me take you on the inside. We did the table. This is not, it used to mount on the floor and there were posts coming up, but what was happening is as it was going down the road, it was rubbing up against the side there. I wanted something a little bit more solid, so I set this up. But yeah, it was just wobbling back and forth. They're supposed to be solid in their little platforms down there. This one was definitely not, and according to the dealer, that's the way it was supposed to be, so we just kind of went with it. This trim piece down here, which goes all the way across, this is new. I installed that. I don't know if you can tell from the camera, but it is slightly different from the original stuff. And I've tried to staple that down, but it just kept popping out. So I screwed in that piece there just to hold this board in place. Let's come up here. We have an issue with the ceiling sagging down. I don't think it's water or anything like that, although it could be. But you can see I've already done a lot of patchwork here, and the staples are beginning to pop out of this too again. I had to do the same thing to this trim piece, staple it all back down. That one doesn't look so bad. You can see if I get in here all of my staple marks from stapling this back into place all the way down here. I did have to replace the TV antenna. I'll get on that when I get back outside, but you can see I've tried to staple the ceiling up here. I don't know why these staples, they just kind of have been popping through the ceiling, but that's really not supposed to be like that. And no, it's not from the curtain pulling it down either, because the curtain's rarely ever over here. It's usually over there. Another issue I was having was the refrigerator. So the refrigerator was coming out on the road down, well, while we were driving. It would, one time actually you can see right over here on the floor. Sorry, messing with the camera so the screen stays on. This is from the refrigerator coming out and hitting the floor while we were driving. This is, the refrigerator says it's not supposed to be anchored in or anything like that. That's what the manufacturer of the refrigerator says. It also says you don't need a latch for the door. We added one of those because that was also another issue that we were having with the fridge. What I ended up doing was taking the fridge, moving it back. There's a board that holds it in the back of it, moving it back about 1/4 of an inch so it would sit a little bit behind here, and then I put another one of those boards that don't quite match but are pretty close over here. Now, I did this right before I left for Louisville. The refrigerator seems to be staying in place now. Apparently that's all that was really needed. So that seemed to work out pretty good. One of the things that we noticed, there was like a mark on this that they cleaned off when we first took delivery on it. And this door, which they replaced the door, they got us a new one. I replaced it, but there was a mark on this. One of the things that has happened is these hinges on both of these doors have come out. If you look, this one's black, and that's because these are gold screws, and this one I haven't done it to yet, so you can see it a little better. But I took a black Sharpie and just covered in the tops of them. But these are particle board screws. This is the type of screw that was supposed to be put in here, but they did not put in here properly. So I'm thinking I might end up having issues with pretty much all these doors over time, but at least now I know how to fix them. Oh, let's go over here because this is fun. So when we first got the RV, this was screwed down because this is where all the electrical kind of connectors and everything are. So, and it looked just like this. So this was screwed down in this direction. And well, after putting in the diesel heater, I'll pull this out and show you the bottom side of it. It's cracked. So it's hard to see because of the chipboard, but there's a big crack. It goes right in here, right down through here, all the way down. They just flipped it upside down, so we didn't see it when we purchased it. Good quality that they put in there. I'll put that back later. So you see over these hooks, this is bare wood. There's actually a piece of trim that's supposed to go over this. What they did is they didn't trim it properly, and it doesn't sit properly, so it got caught and got pulled off. They just stapled it on there. It never got glued on there. So, and oh, look at this, I didn't even notice this part here. So I gotta fix that too. So this is gonna be another fun job to fix. I gotta get the kayaks and stuff out of here anyways. The trim piece is in here as well. Let's go finish up the outdoor tour. It's an Air 360 Winegard antenna. That is not factory to this RV. The old antenna broke off on the shakedown trip. So basically the first day we had it out, it ended up breaking off. I didn't realize either, and this is why that ceiling might be some water damage, that there was a hole in the middle of that antenna. And it did rain, it did snow in there, so that might be what my issue is with the ceiling on the inside, was from the antenna getting ripped off. I did lose a beauty cover on top of the wheel over here. There was just a little plastic hub that went over top of it. Made it look pretty. I'll show you on the other wheel what it looks like. There you go, that's what it looks like. Or it's supposed to look like, I should say. That cracked off. I'm not too concerned about that. One of the things, the hot water heater was supposed to be electric. It's actually gas. I'm not upset. I wanted a gas hot water heater, so that's actually a good thing. But this area right here, this is a problem. I have duct tape on it right now because what's happening, and if you can see, they put a seam here, and that seam is cracking. I'm thinking this was supposed to be all one solid piece throughout the entire side of the RV, and they had to cut this out to do some kind of work that they forgot to do or something, or maybe the piece was just a little short in one area, or they overcut it, so they put in this patch. Well, that patch is coming out, and there's actually a hole right here underneath the duct tape. That's why the duct tape's there, so I'm not getting water in there. But that's been my big problem, and I can't get a service center to give me calls back to schedule service so I can try to get that fixed. That's a big problem, because this should be warranted work. If it's not covered under the manufacturer warranty, it should be covered under one of the many other warranties I purchased. And that is not because I hit it. That is because it's just because I put this patch in here and they didn't do a good job, and it's now cracking. So that's just some of the issues that I found. I'm sure that I've probably missed a few. Just a lot of this stuff has just been little stuff, and I've been patching it as I go, as you can see, trying to figure out how to patch as I go, because dealing with service in the RV industry is horrific. I've called my service department twice. They said they can't get a hold of me. They're going to call me back. Haven't heard from them yet. So I went and I called their 1-800-WE-CARE number, and or whatever it is, whatever the 1-800 number is, they call it the We Care program. Haven't heard back from them yet, although this just happened. It was probably after hours when I called them. So we will see what happens. I do have a little bit of an ace up my sleeve, which is driving this thing across the state to a service center that's been run by over out in the St. Louis area that has actually been good to me so far, so hopefully I can get it in there if this doesn't pan out. But I'm going to give it until tomorrow to figure everything out. But and then that just creates a whole other mess, because I think with this side panel over here, they're not going to be able to fix that. This is probably going to have to go to Elkhart, and they're probably just going to try to patch it again. But this whole panel should be replaced. This panel should never have been put in here in the first place. It should have been one solid piece. And when you understand how they pay people to do the manufacturing and things like that, you understand why this would have been done. I'm going to try to probably, if that happens, that I have to send it out to Indiana. One of the things is if that happens, I am going to push to have this whole side replaced. And I will know if it's replaced or not because my map will be gone if it was replaced. And I'm not worried about the map. I can get another one on Amazon. That's not a big deal to me. You know, another 20 bucks, whatever. Originally, I was actually going to scrap this video and I decided to go ahead and do it. But at the same time, I kind of wanted to give you an update on what happened with all of this. So I did contact the dealer. The dealer did put out the claim for the warranty. The dealer did say that, hey, you know, there's a lot of stuff I can do here, but at the same time, there's a lot of things I can't do here. What they recommend to do is just put in the claim, send everything off to the factory where they have all the tools to do everything, and just have them take care of everything. It'll probably be quicker because they'll probably have materials and things like that on hand as opposed to having to order everything through the dealer. So they put in the warranty claim. I eventually was going through it and trying to figure out. I did contact the manufacturer, so I contacted Gulfstream, and after I hadn't heard from them for a little while, and they had said, yes, we have your claim. We're looking at possibly giving you dates around mid-December, so for when we pick it up, and then we'll pick it up sometime in January. Time went on, December went through, we got about mid-January, so I contacted Gulfstream again, and they said, oh, okay, yeah, we're gonna, and then within a day or two, I got communication that, yes, we're gonna be coming up by to pick it up. It was gone by the next week. They had picked it up and brought it out to the factory. Right now, that's where we're sitting. It's sitting out at the factory. I do want to email them just to kind of see about getting an update, because as of right now, the timeline that they gave me, it should be done, but it hasn't been returned yet. The customer service has been great. I know that might seem weird to some of you some of you that have dealt with the RV industry totally gets when I say the customer service has been great. If you haven't dealt with the RV industry, that might sound horrific. But really, realistically, when you start looking at the RV industry as a whole, customer service with this has been pretty good, even though I've had to been proactive in contacting them with things, and just like now I have to contact them to try to make sure to get my trailer back and that kind of thing, because I have a trip planned up for the end of this month. But it's been pretty good overall from everything. I mean, they have entire channels dedicated to how horrific the RV industry is with customer service and problems that they've had. My problems are very small compared to some of the things. I mean, we're talking about like Class C RVs having roofs leak and like into the cab, like we're talking water pouring through and things, really crazy things that go on with these things, and people have a very difficult time getting them remedied. This seems to have been so far very easygoing. And like I said, it's just been about me being proactive and kind of pushing them along on things, I guess you can say. So it hasn't been that bad, and they've been very receptive. And pretty much right now, they haven't said no to anything. What happened when I did contact them mid-January, I wrote a very extensive email. I gave them the address of where it was located, told them it was private property, gave them the phone number to the property owner so that, you know, the hot shot that they're going to pick it up can call him, let him know he's going to be on the property so that there isn't any issues, that kind of thing. Give him very detailed instructions about what to do with the RV, you know, about putting stuff. I got some boxes in there and like, hey, if you can't get everything back, that's fine. Whatever, I can put stuff away. Just make sure I got boxes I can take with me and dispose of when you bring it back, that kind of thing. And I have to sit here and say that this customer service has been great. The RV industry as a whole has a lot of work to do. I mean, dealing with us in the lawn and landscape industry, we get really used to great customer service because our dealers give us great service. Our manufacturers back up our dealers. Our dealers know that the manufacturers will back them up. Even if they're wrong, they'll still back them up because they want to make sure that we have the best products as the end user. However, you know, that doesn't mean that problems still don't happen. But overall, this is actually good for the RV industry of what I'm dealing with so far. So I'm going to go ahead and check up on them and figure out what's going on with it. But like I said, I wasn't going to do this video. I just kind of saw that I hadn't posted a video for a while, and this one was kind of in the queue. So I said, what the heck? But that's my updates. That's where we're at. And well, I'll see you next time.